If you're over 60, this might surprise you. Some of the most common breads we eat every day are quietly damaging your heart, spiking your blood sugar, draining your energy, and yes, even shrinking your muscles. Hi, I'm glad you're here. Today we're diving into a truth most doctors never mention. The wrong bread can speed up aging. But the right one, it can become a secret weapon for energy, digestion, and even brain clarity. We'll walk through 4 breads that quietly sabotage your health, and 4 powerful healing breads that your body after 60 actually loves. And by the end, you'll know exactly what to keep in your kitchen and what to leave on the shelf. Before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Have you noticed that certain breads leave you more bloated, sluggish, or stiff than they used to? If you're over 60, that's not just aging, it could be what's hiding in your bread. Drop a comment with your age and what symptoms you've noticed after eating bread. We're replying with real advice based on your story. And if you want to wake up with less stiffness, feel lighter after meals, and have more steady energy during the day, tap that subscribe button. We share simple tips every week to help you feel stronger and clearer without extreme diets or gimmicks. Now let's uncover the 4 breads that could be silently hurting your body. Number 4 is multigrain bread. It sounds healthy, even smarter than plain wheat. But most multigrain breads are just white bread in disguise. Have you ever switched to multigrain bread thinking it was better for your blood sugar? Paul did too. He's 66. But after lunch, he kept feeling tired, foggy, and hungry again just 2 hours later. He thought it was age catching up, but it was actually the bread. Here's what's really going on. Multigrain just means more than one grain, but not necessarily whole grains. Most of the time, it's still made with refined white flour and a tiny sprinkle of oats or seeds to make it look healthy. Worse, the mix of grains digests at different speeds. That creates multiple blood sugar spikes, not just one. Your pancreas has to keep working overtime, and that's dangerous after 60. Over time, this leads to energy crashes, belly fat, muscle loss, and higher risk of diabetes. And to make the bread stick together, manufacturers add dough conditioners and chemicals, some of which are banned in other countries. So what's the better choice? Choose 100% whole grain bread, single grain. Don't mix 5 grains in one loaf. Rotate during the week: one day whole wheat, next day whole rye, next day sprouted. And next time you're shopping, take a quick look at the ingredients label. If the first ingredient doesn't say whole wheat flour or whole rye flour, it's probably just refined flour pretending to be healthy, and it's best to leave that one on the shelf. And by the way, if you usually pair your bread with a cup of coffee in the morning, you'll want to hear this. Because just like bread, some coffees can quietly work against your health after 60. They can spike your blood pressure, disturb your sleep, or make joint pain worse, even if they're labeled premium or healthy. In our next video, we'll show you the 4 worst coffees for seniors, and 4 you should drink instead to protect your brain, heart, and digestion. So don't miss that one. Your morning routine might need a little upgrade. But first, let's get back to the breads. Because the next one on this list looks healthy, but might be inflaming your gut and speeding up aging without you even realizing it. Number 3 is Pumpernickel Bread. It looks healthy, dark, dense, rustic. But don't let the color fool you. A lot of people assume that dark bread means better nutrition. That's what Mike, 64, thought too. He figured switching from white bread to pumpernickel would be a smart move for his digestion and heart. But within weeks, he felt more bloated after meals, and his blood work showed higher inflammation. Why most pumpernickel bread sold in grocery stores today isn't the real thing. Traditional pumpernickel takes over 16 hours to bake, slowly breaking down hard-to-digest compounds and unlocking nutrients. But commercial brands rush it in 2 hours. They skip the long fermentation and instead use caramel coloring and molasses to make it dark. Worse, most contain high-fructose corn syrup, which triggers something called advanced glycation in older adults. That's a fancy way of saying it damages your cells and makes your body age faster. A recent study even found that seniors who ate fake pumpernickel bread 3 times a week had inflammation levels 2.5 times higher than those who didn't. So what should you do? Look for authentic pumpernickel, the kind made with just rye flour, water, salt, and a natural sourdough starter. It should feel heavy, almost like a brick. That's a good sign. Or better yet, go for sprouted rye or real sourdough rye, which gives you that same hearty taste without the chemicals or shortcuts. Number 2 is rye bread. Now this one surprises a lot of people because rye has a healthy reputation. But here's the problem. Most of the rye bread on store shelves isn't really rye. It's mostly white flour, a little rye powder, and some caramel coloring to make it look brown. Tom, 68, learned this the hard way. He bought rye bread every week thinking it was better for his blood sugar. But he kept waking up bloated, stiff, and more tired than usual, even though he thought he was eating clean. The real issue is how these fake rye breads are made. Fast rise yeast instead of sourdough, added sugars and preservatives, and chemicals that keep the bread soft for weeks but damage your gut. Studies show just 2 slices a day can reduce healthy gut bacteria by over 40% in people over 60. And here's the kicker. Real rye contains a compound called alkyl resorcinol. It's protective for your heart and brain. But commercial rye, it has less than 8% actual rye flour, not enough to give you any benefit. So what should you look for? Choose rye bread made the old-fashioned way. Whole rye flour is the first ingredient. Sourdough fermentation, not yeast. Dense texture, slightly sour taste. If it's soft, sweet, and bounces back when you press it, it's not the real thing. Stick with bakeries or brands that list full ingredients. Or try European-style rye or sprouted rye, which are easier to digest and actually support your gut. Number 1 is white sandwich bread. This one probably doesn't surprise you, but the damage goes deeper than most people realize. Let me ask you this. Have you ever eaten a sandwich and then felt low-energy brain fog or craving more carbs an hour later? That's what Linda, 67, was dealing with. Every afternoon she had a white bread sandwich, and every afternoon she felt wiped out and cloudy-headed. She blamed age. But it was the bread. White bread is stripped of almost everything useful. 78% of the original fiber, vitamins, and minerals gone. What's left? A high glycemic sponge that spikes your blood sugar faster than table sugar. And it doesn't stop there. Most white bread contains a chemical called bromate used to bleach the flour and make the bread fluffier. But bromate can interfere with your thyroid, the gland that controls your energy, weight, and even mood. In older adults, this can lead to slower metabolism, constant fatigue, weight gain, and brain fog that feels like early memory loss. So how do you quit white bread realistically? Don't go cold turkey. Start by mixing. Week 1, 75% white, 25% whole grain, then 50-50, then 25-75, until your taste buds catch up. And don't forget to add moisture and flavor like cucumber, tomato, or avocado so it doesn't feel dry or boring. You're not just changing your bread, you're resetting your metabolism one slice at a time. So far, we've uncovered the breads that quietly drain your energy, damage your gut, and speed up aging. But now, let's flip the script, because not all bread is bad. In fact, the right kinds of bread can do the opposite. Boost digestion, support your muscles, help balance blood sugar, even sharpen your mind. These aren't the breads you'll find in flashy packaging or TV ads. Most people over 60 have never heard of them, but they've helped thousands feel lighter, clearer, and stronger within just a few weeks. Let's count down the 4 breads your body actually loves after 60. Number 4 is sprouted grain bread. It might not look exciting, but for people over 60, it can be a game changer. Ever feel like no matter what you eat, your digestion just isn't what it used to be? That's what Carol, 69, was dealing with. Bloating, sluggish bowels, and low energy. She tried cutting out bread completely. But nothing helped until her daughter suggested sprouted grain bread. So what makes it different? Sprouted grain bread is made from whole grains that have been allowed to sprout just a tiny bit before baking. That simple step unlocks nutrients and breaks down anti-nutrients that normally block absorption. For someone over 60, that matters. Because as we age, our stomach acid and digestive enzymes naturally decline, making it harder to absorb key vitamins like B12, iron, and folate. In fact, a recent study found that older adults who ate sprouted bread daily had 34% better B12 absorption, 28% more folate, and 31% improved iron levels in just 6 months. And because the sprouting process lowers the glycemic load, it also helps with blood sugar and energy. How to eat it? Toast it lightly. It brings out the flavor and makes it easier to digest. Top it with almond butter or avocado for a blood sugar-friendly snack. Best eaten in the morning or early afternoon when digestion is stronger. Just remember, sprouted bread spoils faster because it doesn't contain preservatives. So keep it in the freezer and only take out what you need. It's a little more work, but your gut will thank you. Next on our list, sourdough bread. Not the supermarket kind with sourdough flavoring, but the real deal, naturally fermented sourdough made with just flour, water, and salt. Rick, 70, thought he was gluten sensitive. Every time he had toast, he felt bloated and stiff. But when he visited his sister and tried her homemade sourdough, he was shocked. No bloating, no crash, no brain fog. So what made the difference? Real sourdough goes through a long, slow fermentation process, usually 12 to 24 hours. That gives time for beneficial bacteria to grow, the same kind your gut needs more of as you age. These bacteria, break down gluten proteins, lower the bread's glycemic index, and produce natural acids that make it easier to digest. In one study, seniors who ate true sourdough daily for 3 months had 47% better gut microbiome diversity, 38% lower inflammation, and improved memory and focus scores. It's basically bread with built-in probiotics if it's made the old-fashioned way. So how do you find real sourdough? Look for short ingredient lists. Just flour, water, salt, and starter. Make sure there's no added yeast, vinegar, or oil. Ask your bakery how long it ferments. 12 hours or more is ideal. Real sourdough should feel dense, have a slightly tangy taste, and bounce back slowly when you press it. And here's a little tip that works really well. After 60, try eating sourdough with something fatty like olive oil or grass-fed butter. That helps your body absorb it more slowly, and it's better for your blood sugar and your brain. Number 2, let's talk about a type of bread that's not just healthy, it's designed for strength and recovery. That's Ezekiel bread. This bread is made from sprouted grains, beans, and lentils based on an ancient recipe mentioned in the Bible. But don't let the name fool you, the science behind it is very modern. Deborah, 65, started eating Ezekiel bread after her doctor warned her about rising blood sugar. She didn't expect much, but within a few weeks, her energy was steadier, her digestion improved, and her afternoon cravings disappeared. Here's why this bread works so well, especially for people over 60. It combines sprouted wheat, barley, lentils, spelt, and millet into a complete protein. That means it gives your body all the amino acids it needs, something rare in bread. It also has a very low glycemic index, around 36 compared to 95 for white bread. That makes it gentler on your pancreas and ideal for managing blood sugar and preventing energy crashes. In one recent study, older adults who replaced regular bread with Ezekiel bread saw a 45% drop in inflammation, better cholesterol levels, and improved insulin sensitivity, meaning their body handled sugar better with less strain. If you want to give it a try, here are a few things to keep in mind. Ezekiel bread doesn't contain preservatives, so it's usually sold frozen. Keep it in the freezer and toast slices as needed. It's denser than regular bread with a slightly nutty flavor, great with almond butter or avocado. And here's something that helped Deborah adjust quickly. She started with the cinnamon raisin variety for a week, then moved to the plain one once her taste buds caught up. It's not about being perfect. It's about choosing what helps your body work with you, not against you. And finally, the most powerful bread you can eat after 60, 100% whole grain bread. This isn't wheat bread. It's not made with whole grains. It's the real deal, where the entire grain is left intact, bran germ and endosperm, just as nature made it. Why does that matter? Because those 3 parts work together to support your heart, digestion, and energy in ways refined bread never can. Sam, 71, made the switch last year. He didn't change his whole diet, just replaced his morning toast with real whole grain. Within 2 months, his cholesterol dropped, his knees felt less stiff, and his energy stayed more stable throughout the day. Whole grains are packed with fiber, which feeds your good gut bacteria, healthy fats, which support brain and hormone health, plant compounds that reduce inflammation and protect your heart. In a long-term study, older adults who ate just 2 slices a day of real whole grain bread had 52% fewer heart attacks, 48% lower stroke risk, and lived an average of 3.7 years longer than those eating white bread. If you're ready to switch, here's what to look for. The first ingredient should say whole wheat flour, or another whole grain flour, not just wheat flour. Each slice should have at least 3 grams of fiber. The bread should feel heavier and look naturally brown inside, not dyed to look healthy. And here's a simple way to get started. If you're used to softer bread, try a honey whole wheat version first. Add a little raw honey or almond butter to help your taste buds adjust. Most people say that after 2 to 3 weeks, white bread starts tasting like cardboard. Because once your body gets real nourishment, it remembers what better feels like. So there you have it. 4 breads to watch out for, and 4 your body will thank you for. Because after 60, bread isn't just bread. It's either fueling your strength or quietly stealing it 1 slice at a time. Now I'd love to know, which one of these surprised you the most? And what's the first swap you're ready to try this week? Leave a comment below. I read every single one. And your story might help someone else feel less alone. And if this video gave you clarity, share it with a friend or loved one. Sometimes the right loaf of bread can mean better sleep, steadier energy, or a clearer mind. The next video reveals the 4 worst coffees you should never touch, and 4 powerful blends that actually support your brain, digestion, and energy. Because not all coffee is created equal, and after 60, The wrong brew can mess with your blood pressure, disrupt your sleep, and even increase joint pain. So be sure to check it out. Your morning cup might never be the same. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, and I'll be right here with you. Thanks for watching.